Hello, hello, hello. Welcome and welcome back. If you're new here, hello, good to have you. If you've checked out any of my videos before, you've subscribed to my channel, so happy that you're back. So happy that you're tuning into another video. And I'm excited about today's topic because these three things sneakingly sabotage your weight loss journey in your 40s. And I hear them talked about, but like not enough. And I want to just stress how important they are and how they've actually made a difference once I started to really hone in and focus on them. So just to give you some background, I am 44, and last year, January 2025, I set out to lose, actually, I really wanted to lose about 50, 60 pounds, I think. So last year, I lost 30 pounds. I went from 239, 240 down to 209, 210, like around that. I go between 209, 210, and I'm trying to break out of the 200. So if you've broken out of the 200s, let me know. Let me know what worked for you. But I have been tracking and sharing my story in this series. And so today's video, I'm talking about the three things that sabotage your weight loss in your 40s. And if you're interested in keeping up with this type of content or my journey, just subscribe. And I drop new videos weekly about my weight loss journey and and all of that stuff, fat loss related. So let me dive in. So the three things that sabotage your weight loss in your 40s that sometimes you don't really realize is going to be sleep, hydration, and your rest days. Like, I don't think this is talked about enough, so let's get into it. Sleep. I know we've heard this before, but sleep is so underrated, and it's super underrated in your 40s. It is recommended that you get at least 7 hours of sleep, but for women, it's more like recommended 8 to 9 hours. If you just need to have a starting point, just shoot for 7 hours. Like, start there. I would stall for like 3, 4 weeks at a time in weight loss. And I just couldn't figure out what was happening. Like, I would weigh myself weekly, I would do my measurements, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm keeping within my macros and my calorie intake, and I feel like I'm drinking enough water. I'm definitely getting enough movement. I'm working out. I'm doing my strength training about 4 to 5 times a week. Why isn't the scale moving? Well, the scale wasn't moving because I wasn't getting any rest. When I went back into my health tracker on my phone, I was getting on average between 5 and 6 hours of sleep. I'm telling you, the week I decided, I said, okay, for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to get 8 hours of sleep. I'm going to make myself go to bed earlier and get in the extra 2 hours of sleep. The 2 weeks into doing that, I came down like 4.3 pounds. And I didn't change anything else with my workouts. Like, I did my workouts like I normally do. I tracked my food. I made the right choices in terms of food. I did my meal prepping. It was the sleep. It was the sleep. Sleep is so important when you're in your 40s and you're trying to lose weight because it helps to regulate your hunger hormones. And let me tell you the exact hormones. It's the ghrelin, and leptin hormones. So when you have poor sleep, you're going to wake up with stronger hunger cravings, and you're going to really also even crave more sugar and more carbs. And that was like 100% like what I noticed for myself, is that if I didn't get any sleep, like I snacked maybe even more than I normally would, So sleep is really, really important. It also supports your fat burning and your fat storing hormones. So your cortisol level goes up, and that's the hormone we definitely don't want to go up because it holds on to the fat, and particularly the fat around the waist. So if you're not getting enough sleep, you're spiking the cortisol, and overall it just improves your recovery and the strength that you can go into your next workouts and your next strength training workouts with when you get enough sleep. If you get enough sleep, you can progressively overload in your next strength training and in your next workout session. And if you do that, then you'll be building more muscle. More muscle leads to more fat loss and more increased metabolism. So it just all connects. But I'm telling you, sleep is clutch. It is clutch. And I know it's sometimes hard to get sleep depending on, how busy your schedules may be. And so much of us have such busy schedules now. But if you have to reduce your screen time and turn off the phone, turn off the laptop an hour before bed, make some warm chamomile tea, take magnesium glycinate. Those things are going to help to really mellow out your mood so that you can fall asleep quicker. So I know for me, I like the bedroom slightly cooler. So I like the bedroom like 72, 73 because it helps me to like fall asleep when it's nice and cold. And I know that's the case for a lot of people, and it's been recommended to have like cooler temperatures. What else helps me? I like an eye mask sometimes because the darker the room is, the easier it is for me to fall asleep and fall into deeper sleep too. So yeah, sleep is really important, and sleep quality is very, very crucial to weight loss. And I'm telling you, when I started to really focus on and track and see how much sleep I was getting and realize that it really wasn't enough, once I started to make a concerted effort to get the hours in, I saw the scale move, and I saw lost inches around the waist, particularly around the bust. Yeah, so sleep is that girl. Sleep is that girl. The next thing is hydration, and I really want to get into this because when I restarted my weight loss journey last year, January 2025. And, I've said, okay, I'm going to try to do this smarter. I'm also going to try to do this in a sustainable way, long-term sustainable way for myself. I just thought water was just enough. I'm telling you, I really thought water was just enough, but I was starting to feel very tired, very lethargic. And I really couldn't push myself in like a lot of my strength training workouts. Like I couldn't really go hard because I just felt so tired, And at the time I had a health coach that was helping me. Shout out to Nitra if she's watching this video. I learned so much from Nitra. And one of the things was that I was just getting bare water, no electrolytes in the water. So with that said, I was fatiguing fast. So what I started to do was make my own electrolyte mix. So I have like 30 ounces of water. My water's right here. 30 ounces of water. I do like 2 to 3 dashes of pink Himalayan salt. I do like just about two caps of the apple cider vinegar. I fill the caps up, and then I toss it in my water, my 30-ounce bottle of water. And then you can also splash in a little coconut water. You can do like a quarter cup of coconut water if you want. But yeah, so I started to add that to my 90 ounces or so that I get of water, particularly my amounts that I would drink while I work out. So I definitely have at least 30 ounces to 40 ounces or so of water while I'm working out. Because sometimes I'll do this and then I'll do a small bottle of water. But, oh my gosh, once I started doing that, like I immediately started to feel re-energized. I could work out like stronger and like more like harder as well. Like I felt like I could lift a little bit heavier or go an additional rep. It just really, I was just like, oh my God, what was I thinking just having water all along? Like I really needed the electrolytes because I'm sweating out the electrolytes. So don't underestimate the hydration piece. And sometimes you think you're hungry, but you're just thirsty. You're just thirsty. You haven't had enough water. I shoot for 90 ounces. 90 ounces to like 120 ounces a day. And 90 ounces would be 3 of these. And so, yeah, that's what I shoot for. And when I get my 90 ounces in, I'm telling you, like, I don't feel thirsty. I feel sharper. My skin looks clearer. Like, yeah, water is that girl as well. So overall, making sure that you're getting adequate hydration includes making sure that you're not just drinking water, but you're drinking either putting an electrolyte packet in your water or making your own electrolyte drink like I just recommended. And that's going to help. That's going to help a lot because if you are feeling adequately refreshed and refreshed from your drinking of your water during your workouts, you can actually go harder in your workouts and really burn more fat, build more muscle. So don't underestimate the hydration piece because you may be overeating and eating and pulling and grabbing for something to eat when really you just need to grab for your water and take a big few gulps of water because you're not hungry, you're actually thirsty. So that's another thing I wanted to point out. Let me make sure I covered everything in that one because that was a really important one. Oh yeah, you know what? Totally forgot to mention this. Water, particularly, and especially water with electrolytes, and it's really important because it's required for the body to metabolize the stored fat. How did I forget this? So this is really important because this is how the body is going to metabolize the fat that's stored in the body and get rid of it. So even more reason to make sure that you're getting in your water and not sabotaging your fat loss because you're not getting in the water. So the last one I want to talk about is the rest days. Oh yeah, this one was an eye opener for me. So when I started my journey, January 2025, I worked out 5 times a week. 5 times a week, I did strength training, and 6 days a week, I just did regular cardio. And my cardio was usually walking, and that's what I did. Now, I was doing this on end for like 2, 3 months, right? And I would see a little weight loss here, half a pound here, 3/4 of a pound, then a pound. Like I would see a little bit here and there. And then I reduced my workout because I had a busier schedule at the time, and I felt like I wasn't being able to like manage my time as well. So I was like, okay, I think I need to go from 5 days of strength training down to 4, so that I can also make sure that I'm getting to a few other different things that I need to focus on. So I went down to 4 days a week. When I tell you that following 2 weeks later, I was down like 2.5 pounds. And I was like, what? From doing less work? Like I was so shocked by it. But rest days are really important. And like I said, I was doing 5 days a week, so I only had 2 days of rest. When I upped that to 3 days, definitely saw an impact in the weight loss. And that's really important because you need to give your body the time, even more so in your 40s than when you were younger, to really recoup, recalibrate, and just rest itself from the stressor of working out that you put on it. And this is really important too for the strength training piece, which is very important, especially in your 40s, to make sure that you're getting in your strength training to, keep your muscle, because you lose a small percentage of muscle mass every year once you get into your 40s. So you want to maintain as much muscle as you can. Anyhow, if you are just tiring out the muscles, it never has a break to actually be able to become and get stronger. Sorry, not become, but get stronger. So that's actually when you start building your muscle, is during the rest period. So you want to make sure you're giving your body enough adequate rest time. And so for me, like I said, I realized actually doing 4 days a week and then 3 days of a rest was way more impactful than 2 days, way more impactful. Also, and again, the rest days is predominantly from like a heavier cardio session, and definitely a rest from the weightlifting schedule. So that's my 3 days is taking a break from that. Now, on those rest days, I still get my steps in, but I'm not like speed walking. I'm not trying to raise my fat burning zone past zone 2. So I'm staying in zone 1 or zone 2 on the rest days when I'm just getting steps, right? So anyhow, don't sleep on your rest days in your 40s. Like your body really needs it, and it really does reward you with reducing your fat percentage when you get your adequate rest days in. So this is not like when we were in our 20s. You cannot grind it out like 6-7 days and like get 1 day of rest. You can't do that, because you're going to really spike your cortisol, and your cortisol is going to hold on to the stored fat, particularly the stored fat around the midsection. So listen, for long-term consistency, for long-term performance, you need rested muscles. It's going to give you stronger workouts, better progressive overload, and just better results over time. So you don't have to work out harder. You just need to work out smarter. And a big part of working out smarter is getting the adequate rest days. So those are the 3 tips that I have where they can sneakingly sabotage your weight loss if you don't get adequate rest days, you don't have adequate hydration, and you're not getting enough sleep. So those are the 3 things. If there's other things that you feel that if you're in your 40s and you've been on your own weight loss journey and fat loss journey, I'd love to hear other things that you've discovered are like, you've got to do them. You have to incorporate them to see results. Please share it in the comments. I'd love to know, because I'm still on my own journey. So thank you for tuning in. And please, if this is interesting to you and you'd love to know more about like my journey or just weight loss in your 40s, definitely subscribe so you can be up to date on my future videos. Thank you so much, and have a great day.